Now for the brainstorming question. In reality, can we refer to any period in history as Hindu or Muslim? What do you think and why? In reality, we cannot actually refer to any period as Hindu or Muslim because we know that there cannot be any period in Indian history, of course, where there were only Hindu people or there were only Muslim people. It had all kinds of subjects. It had all kind of religions residing in India. It had all kind of people who were there that certain historians obviously overlooked. They were all, even though there can be a period where all kind of royalties were at some point of time only Hindus, or at another period of time were only Muslims. But royalty do not constitute all of the history. It is a part of history. All the subjects that are there in the royalty also form a part of history, and those were not all Hindus or Muslims. Those were all kinds of people. So obviously we can find a better way to, refer to any period some better name, not as Hindu or Muslim. It is very inappropriate. It is inappropriate because it completely ignores the presence of other religions which were residing there and which had a lot of contribution in the changing of the society, in actually forming the characteristics of the society then. So basically, to erase them from history when we categorize Hindu or Muslim is not very fair to them, and it is not fair for the readers who are reading. It is a very biased opinion. Moving on. How do we periodize actually? Historians have usually divided India into ancient, medieval, and modern, moving away from the British classification but borrowed from the West. In the West, the modern period was associated with the growth of all the forces of modernity: science, reason, democracy, liberty, and equality. Medieval was a term used to describe a society where these features of modern society did not exist. Under British rule, people did not have equality, freedom, or liberty. Nor was the period one of economic growth and progress. Many historians therefore refer to this period as colonial. Now, apart from the period that were described by the British historians, some of the historians also came up with a more progressive way of categorizing history as ancient, medieval, and modern, basing those on the characteristics which happened during that time. Moving away from the British classification, but of course it was not their own thinking, it was borrowed from the West. Western societies used to bifurcate the period of their history on the forces of modernity, that was science, reason, democracy, liberty, and equality. So gradually, when the society moved from being an ancient society where there was no science, no reason, no democracy, no liberty, and no equality, from the society they are today, they they classified their history according to that. Medieval was a term used to describe a society where these features of modern society did not exist. Again, this system is also flawed because what we see a progress, what we see as a change, what we see a modern in our sense could not be modern for other people. Like in India, we say liberty in a term that we are very liberal democracy. But when we go to US, in comparison to US liberty, our Indian liberty, our Indian system of liberty might seem a little bit different from theirs. But it does not mean that our system of liberty and their liberty are not, any one of them can be, called as flawed or wrong. So basically, modernity in our sense might not be what modernity was in the ancient or medieval India. The fact that from ancient India, we moved towards medieval India, from ancient India where we were all interested in what kind of crops were going and how the hunter-gatherers, made their drainage system, to a period where forts were built, where wars were fought, where rulers resided, where rulers ruled their kingdom, where there was a coherence in system, where they paid taxes to the society, where we had railways, we can all call it growing towards modernity. So basically, it is very improper and flawed to call a period not modern because it was a gradual process and it is still happening now. Modernity did not cease to exist. It is still happening towards every day, in every day. Under British rule, people did not have equality, freedom of liberty. Of course, we know that the British citizens had far much more superior rights than those of Indian citizens. Indians were most of the time oppressed. They were oppressed on giving very high taxes and revenues. They were oppressed on accepting the cultures that Britishers told them to. They were oppressed in economical sense, that the British first took raw materials from them and then made their own profits. Then gradually they used India as a dumping ground. So we cannot call that British just came for the civilization and for our benefit. Of course, there was their benefit as well. So there was no economic growth. If we really see, if we actually see, if they came for economic growth, it must have been happening at a pace that Europe was happening, that economic growth in Europe was happening. But of course, we see that is not present there. So therefore, many historians do not refer to the modern India as we study as the modern India. They refer to this period as colonial India, because colonization occurred during that time, and colonization did not promise what the Britishers wanted to portray or project, like economic liberty, equality, freedom, economic superiority. These all things did not happen in the way that it should have happened from their account. So obviously, some of the historians term this period as colonial. Moving on. What is colonial actually? When the subjugation of one country by another leads to political, economic, social, and cultural changes. We must important that this definition is very important for defining the colonial sense, that is political, economic, social, and cultural changes. Now, this is another word which is very important: subjugation. We refer to the process as colonization. So colonization is not the same as, being the monarch or being the ruler of your own country. Colonization means that we come from a foreign land and we take your kingdom, we take it through conquests and we take it through wars, and then we live in your society, forcing you to accept our way of living, forcing you to accept what we suggest as economic changes and political changes and social and cultural changes, and then taking whatever we can to for our profit. At least that's what happened. It might seem biased from my side, but at least that's what happened to Indians. Of course, we cannot say that Britishers exploited all the way. They also gave us a lot of things. They gave us railways and everything, but at the same time, there are two sides of coins. If they gave us something, they also took a lot of things from us. So it cannot be called as just a positive enforcement. It was obviously a negative and a flawed one as well. The British colonized India and many other countries around the world. They controlled the economy and collected exorbitant taxes. They even influenced the values, customs, and practices in India. So some of the customs that were abolished by the Britishers, some of the systems such as sati, or some of the systems that were introduced by the Britishers, such as widow remarriage, is kind of applauding in nature. But some of the systems that were forced upon us, like the forceful change of religion to Christianity, can be called as exorbitant. Also, the taxes that were given by the British to the Indians were exorbitant. They were very, very exorbitant in nature. Some of the Indians, they studied our grounds, they studied our topographical and geographical conditions vastly, and they told us what to grow, what they needed for their profit. What we were supposed to grow, we could not grow that. What they wanted to make profit from a certain object, and they wanted us to produce that objects, like such as indigo plantation. Indigo had huge negative impact on the grounds, but Indians were forced to plant indigos because indigos caused them huge profit. Britishers had huge profits coming out from indigo. So that is why we could not say that it was all positive political, economical changes. There were also negative side of it. And obviously the colonization had a very, very blowing impact for us because it devastated our system. It devastated our economy. They took a lot of wealth from us, but obviously they gave something in return as well. So let's not take it from a biased opinion. Let's take it as it happened in the past and now we are free. So yes.